University of Calicut and possesses rich interdisciplinary expertise spanning Arabic language and literature, psychology, counseling, education, and research methodology. As a committed researcher and supervisor, Dr. Sabique has successfully guided numerous PhD scholars and postgraduate students, contributing significantly to academic research and knowledge dissemination. Dr. Sabique.MK has published several books, edited volumes and research papers, and has actively participated in and chaired sessions at many national and international seminars and conferences. He is also a respected academic and administrative auditor, NAC expert and subject specialist, contributing to quality enhancement in higher education institutions. Above all, Dr. Sabique believes in education as a transformative force, one that nurtures excellence, leadership, and social responsibility. We are truly privileged to have him with us today, and I am confident that his insights will greatly enrich the national seminar. Thank you.
Future and how we can make them equipped for the job market which they are going to work. And I start my presentation on a quoting which you are all may be familiar with it. Normally this quoting will be used in the parenting session. This belongs to the Khalil Gibran. He says, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's long for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. And also, you may have heard about another quoting from Justice Krishna here. He says, every generation is a nation. So, whenever a person enters to a nation other than he belongs, he must be aware about what sort of the cultures, what should be the food system, dress code, attire, and all the things. As a person, I belong to India. When I am planning to a journey to Nepal or Saudi Arabia, I must be aware about what are the customs, cultures, and what sort of the practices they are following in their life. Then only I can survive over there. Likewise, we are living in a generation, that's a nation. At the same time, we are handling another generation, that's another nation. So, when we are handling those students, we must be aware about the generation, what are their requirements, what are their needs, what are their future expectations, then only we can manage. So the major question that I could see in the brochure also, are we really ready for to manage that or to handle that generation? What do you think about what should be a quality of a teacher, the most selected quality of a teacher when we handle a generation? Can some of you have some your input? What would be the best quality of a teacher when we are handling a new generation? Anyone can respond? The best quality of a teacher which we can highlight in a teacher when we are handling the generation Z. Application of the technology, good.
Understanding the emotions of
Understanding the emotions of the audience, okay, good. Empathy, good. Understand the needs and requirements of the students, okay. These are all excellent qualities which a teacher should equip. Can you add some more? Friendship, definitely. Then I will add one more thing. Especially in this generation, a teacher should be a good observer. The qualities which you suggested, it's pretty okay. At the same time, I look to the another aspect that I will be connecting. Especially the generation which we are handling in our day-to-day life in the classroom, they are differently capable for many of the things. At the same time, their learning styles are different. You may be remembering in the past period, earlier we had the Kathakali for 5 days. In a single topic, they will be managing a Kathakali for 5 days. Later on, when the audience came down, we reduced it to 2 days or 3 days. Nowadays, the people are not ready to attend the Kathakali for one hour. You may be remembering the cricket. That was only the test series that will go up to 1 week. A single day will be winding up to 20, 30 runs. 30 mutte. Then we come to the single day, 20. So that is a generation when we move to the, we may not be able to manage that much time in it. In that situation, we are handling the students in a classroom for 1 hour. So we are all living in a era of the reels. At the same, they are not able to manage more than 30 seconds or 45 seconds. We are managing the classroom for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour in the lecture period. So they are looking for the short and engaging content. They will be asking for why I want to study this. You may be many of the, as we are all faculty members, we may be facing that situation many of the time. The second last day of the assignment, they may be asking, sir, what is my topic? Is it mandatory to submit tomorrow itself? Is there any chance for postponing the deadline? Then if you are postponing the deadline, the same thing will be happening. The second last day will be asking, what would be happen if I am not submitting the assignment? So you will be missing 5 marks. Then it's okay. They are ready to compromise for 5 marks. Likewise, their orientation is like that. So they are looking for short, and at the same time they must be engaging them in the classroom instead of over lengthy lectures. We know that in the classroom or in the day-to-day life, every person have their own life channels. There may be people having visual, auditory, kinesthetic, gustatory, olfactory, all the types you can see. In nowadays we can see, especially in the DPP, we can see in the classrooms are very colorful in the chart room, like this projector. At the same time, when we are students, we couldn't see any projector in the classroom. Only the blackboard. Nowadays the teachers even using the different colors of chalk also. So the studies are saying that the pupil, majority of the pupil are visual pupil. So they are looking for some. They are looking for some sort of the activities which they can visually appealing. So they are looking for some engaging activities, visual interactive participation they are looking for, and they will be giving you immediate feedback because they are emotionally, as some of you mentioned, that they are emotionally outbursty. So they will be respond. Even if you are asking some questions, that will be also disturbing them. If you are giving, once I remember one student, when I give an assignment to the student, in between I asked a question, oh, I am doing an assignment, why are you asking the question? So they are not interested to do one activity they are looking for, at the same time they are involved in another thing, that may not be their preferring. Likewise, they may have their own choices. Life is only the matter of choices. At any time, anyhow, they may have their own choices. They are on looking for their own personalization, especially in the 4-year UG program. We have some other options there. Earlier, you may be knowing that a student studying economics, there not be a chance for studying mathematics. At the same time, we know the economics is connected with econometrics. In other states of the Kerala, we can see mathematics is part of that. But nowadays in the 4-year program, a lot of combinations are there. A student studying a language is a chance for studying different types of science subject. A student opting commerce subject, they can go to the different other streams of the discipline. So there are combinations. Normally we will not work on that. A student studying physics, they will not be thinking about he can move to the journalism field. At the same time, a person in the background of physics, they can find out a better option in the media. Likewise, different combinations are possible right now. So the personalization they will be looking for. They will be looking for their own autonomy also. So we know we are really normally when this topic we handle, we will be saying that we are the migrants to the digital era. At the same time, they are born and brought up in this generation. So technology is the tool for that pupil. Any time they will be looking. I do remember this time when we conducted in the NSS camp for the students. At the initial stage, they are not willing to submit their telephone. They cannot separate from the telephone. They cannot leave for a day without having a telephone. But end of the day, after the 7th day of the NSS winding up session, we are able to manage without having a telephone, without having a mobile phone. So that much connected they are, because hours of the life. I don't know whether you ask the students. Nowadays, I could see the hobby of the students. Maybe earlier we couldn't have a hobby. We couldn't support. Imagine a hobby like what I call sleeping. That was not a hobby. Nowadays, you just ask the student. Many of the students will be responding. My hobby is sleeping. So they are interested, or they are spend to their time in their own mobiles, leisure time. That may be their own preference. So they are very much dependent upon the technology and the devices. And they are very much pragmatic learners also. They will be looking for why I should learn this subject, or they may looking for their own application. What should be I will be getting? How can I connect this title with my career or my job area? They will be looking for that. Likewise, they have their own planning for pragmatic situations they will be going through. Then they may have their own value addition, which that will not be connected to our own value system. So they will be focusing upon their own value. They will be especially for their own clique, then their own circle. Yesterday, after 7 o'clock, I could see some of the students in the campus. So I just asked, why don't you go home? So they are saying that we have an association inauguration. So you have to leave the campus. Just you complete the work tomorrow early morning. The same time they are offering, we will not go because this is India. This is my campus. I will not go. So then you can go. Why don't you stand 20-25 students? You are only working 5 students only. We are one team. We will not go. So they may have their own value system. At the same time, that will not be connected to our value system which we have gone through. At the same time, they are very much anxious and independent. They are looking for want to be independent from others. Now they are not interested to listen to our own advice which will be very valuable to those the person is giving to it. At the same time, that was not valuable to the person receiving it. So they will be looking for an independent, their own environment. That's why to an extent they will be, especially the era which we have gone through, we don't have that much clarity about the career and job avenues. At the same time, nowadays a lot of avenues are there. Psychometric tools are very active. Career opening sessions are very live. Very much opportunities are there. At the same time, they will be to an extent anxious. Whether I will be fit to myself in a job position or a career, they will be anxious. Then they are very much academic discussion will be there. Traditional lectures or the heavy modern lectures will be irrelevant to them. So they will be looking the curriculum which is very much connected to their own practical life. That's why in a 4-year UG program we can see a lot of avenues are there for the different kinds of activities over there. So earlier the seminar and assignment was there. At the same time, nowadays in the classroom we have there are enough space for the faculty members to incorporate different types of activities. I do remember one of the students, he completed mass communication from MES College. Right now he is doing his PhD in California University. In the last couple of weeks back, I had a conversation with him. He was saying, I cannot survive here without reading 500 pages in a week, because that much discussions are happening in the classroom. Instead of mere lectures, the teacher will not be providing that much lengthy lectures. At the same time, he will be giving some different activities, and before entering to the classroom, I have to equip myself to express myself for the evaluation process. That's the learning process we are going through. So they will be looking for some of the, that's why personally I will be suggesting in all the semesters, if the 4-year UG program, we will be getting at least 6 semesters or 8 semesters. So at least one outbound program, outreach program, industrial visit, academic visit will be incorporated in all the semesters. Then only we can manage that student. Instead of sitting in a classroom for a long hours, we cannot manage that student. So to cope up with the psychological issues which they are facing, because they will be facing many issues like we cannot expect their emotions. They will be easily burned out. We will be surprised why they are this much being angry. We couldn't find out a genuine reason for that. At the same time, they will be emotionally burned out very quickly. So very small silly issues they will be. That's why the number of suicides are gradually increasing. But very small issues they will be disturbed. So the role of a teacher will be increased. Most of the time we will be said a teacher should be a second parent. At the same time, nowadays we have to be the teacher. Should be, most of the time we could see a first parent will be for the many of the students. They will not be getting sufficient parental attachment or parental care from the real parents they belong. So we must be came into that role also, especially for the we can depend upon some of the career counselors from different agencies. At the same time, that will prolong up to 1 or 2 hours only. At the same time, as a teacher, we have to equip ourselves as a mentor, as a counselor, as a therapist, as a psychological first aid order. These are the skills we have to equip. Then only we can manage that students. Then the major essential shift that's happening nowadays, we can see earlier it was student-teacher relation, but now it's student-centric. Teaching, learning, evaluation, that was the reference earlier. Nowadays, learning, teaching, evaluation has already introduced. So from the teacher-centered, the student-centered become to be activities to be incorporated, like teacher should become to the role of facilitator, mentor, guide, and he should be encouraging the students to, without, we can see the many of the students, they may have one of the quality we can just refer to sleeping. Lethargy is the one of the other. They don't have laziness because of they don't have that much goals or idea. So we have to equip that community so that we have to equip ourselves. Then skill development that I will be coming to. So from content, instead of fully packed content delivery, we have to come to the essential skill which they have to connect to the industry or connect to the research, connect to the pioneer institutes. Then we have to provide the active learning platforms, especially connected to the technology, and a teacher has to enable and equip with all that technology. Major skilling. We can see, especially many of the skill they have to equip with digital literacy and ethical technology use, creativity and innovation capacity, because they have that capacity, but we have to nurture that skill. Then emotional intelligence and collaboration, you also offered that skill. Lifelong learning and mindset for the adaptability. Then many of the skills that should be incorporated, part of them. So as a teacher, from the traditional the teaching evaluation methods, a teacher should be developed to the another some sort of role of like teacher to the coaching, from content to the competence, from authority to the partnership, especially the collaboration and the partnership with other institutions and working with the peers. That will be helping a lot for the students. In that way, we have to work on that. Then, especially when we are referring to the skilling and upskilling the students, we have to know about the especially the post-pandemic situation. We can see many of the jobs are eliminated. As the studies of 2025 January, which is declared by the World Economic Forum, that saying that 83 million jobs were eliminated, just like the clerks, cashier, admin, manual laborers, like 83 million jobs already eliminated, and at the same time 69 million new jobs are created. So they are going to work in the when the ball rolls for 3 years or 4 years, they will be working in an industry. So we have to equip them for the industry at that time exists. So the studies are saying that 39% of workers' core skill will change by 2030. So based on that, we have to equip the students. You may be seen that the studies brought out by the World Economic Forum. We have to take into the attention to that. The top fastest growing jobs we can see: big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning specialists, software and application developers, security management specialists, data warehousing specialists, autonomous and electronic vehicles, UI and UX designers, light truck and delivery service drivers, Internet of Things specialists. These are the jobs already existing or emerging. At the same time, the fast declining is happening in the many of the fields, just like the postal service clerk, bank tellers and related clerks, data entry clerk. We can see many of the jobs we couldn't see it nowadays. Then cashiers and ticket checking, administrative assignment and executive secretaries, printing and related trade workers, accounting, bookkeeping and payroll clerk. Likewise, many of the jobs they are outdated. And see, the World Economic Forum also highlighted the future job report in 2025. The core skill have to equip by those who are looking or those who are studying nowadays. See, the core skills, at the same time, you just think about which are the skills already included in the curriculum right now. Analytical skilling, resilience, flexibility, agility, then the three: leadership and social influence, creative thinking. We can see most of the all things, especially just think about a student is studying BA English language. Will he be able to write a SOP at the end of the day? Get doubtful about. Or if will be able to prepare a good CV, an impressive CV at the end of the BA English program. I'm not complaining about the system. At the same time, our curriculum, our system is not that much equipped to upskill the student. You just take the skill. These are the skills after the study in a global perspective. These are the skills must be equipped with the student. So then the motivation and self-awareness, technological literacy, empathy and active listening, curiosity and lifelong learning, talent management, service orientation and customer service. These are the 10 skills suggested by the World Economic Forum to the students or those who are studying right now in our classroom. So we have a space for that. We can see many of the institutions gradually moving to the autonomous status. So you will be able to define or design your own curriculum. And right now itself, there is a space for the 20% of space is there. So we have to incorporate some sort of skills. To end of the day, they must be fit for the industry they are going to work. These are the top 10 fastest growing skills by 2030. See, the students are going to work in 2030. So these skills should be there. The first thing, AI and big data. You just think about the discipline which I am teaching in my classroom. Is it incorporate all these skills? Because I am teaching BSc Physics or I am teaching BSc Mathematics. I am teaching BA Economics. Just think about all these 10 skills are incorporated in our curriculum. AI and big data management, network and cyber security, technological literacy, creative thinking, all are required. Especially they are ready to work. I do remember one of Muhammad Rafi is sitting here. I do remember the residential camp which we started in 2002, I think. At that time, the residential camps were not that much familiar at that time. So CG started that time residential camp. I do remember the resident editor of Malayalam Manorama, he was leading a session. And he gave to the student, I don't know, high school student, a blank refiller he gave to the student, and he just asked what you can do this one. Just he was asking. But then he referred that I just asked the same question to the employees which we are going to hire them after their MBA or MA journalism, but they are not able to respond because they can do in a creative context. So creative, the divergent thinking will not be possible at that time. So like creative thinking, resilience, flexibility and agility, because that perseverance should be so agility, resilience, flexibility, curiosity and lifelong learning, leadership and social skills, talent management, analytical thinking, environmental stewardship. See, these are the 10 qualities suggested by the World Economic Forum. At the same time, you just think about what are the skills already incorporated our current curriculum. If it is not there, these are the skills required for the student they are going to work in 2030. So the ball is in our court. We are the academicians are preparing the curriculum. So it's our role. So we have to equip the student. If it is not available in the curriculum, we have to prepare some sort of short-term courses, skill enhancement workshops, or some industry connections. I could see one of the session in this program itself that will be connecting to the academia industry connections. So these are the major skills should be incorporated with the curriculum to the generation Z. So I am writing up here. So if you are keep teaching for yesterday's job, we will graduate the student unfit for the tomorrow, because as I quoted earlier, we are preparing students for the days to come or years to come. So we must embed with technology. We must be having some sort of skills like adaptability, and we must equip the students for the days to come or the generation we are going to work in the future years. So we can see many of the things, just like language and technology is one of the inevitable, unescapable or component. We know just before the pandemic situation that was not that much connected the world. I do remember after the pandemic situation I could connect it. I do remember one of the course which I have conducted in MES college. I have students from 27 countries. I am working in a college, very rural area of Malappuram district. At the same time, I had students from 27 countries. That much connected the students. So the language is inevitable component. If you have more language, you can connect with them. You can connect with the more pupil. If you are able to communicate in our own mother tongue, I will be limited to the community which belongs to Malayalam. Or if you are able to, if I am able to communicate in Hindi, I can manage the people from different parts of the states of India. If I am able to communicate in the another linking language, Chinese, Japanese, English, or whatever the language which will be connecting to the other countries, I will be able to take the resources from all that part also. So language is a major component. So motivate the students to learn whatever the language they are able to. Couple of months back, when I had a session for the higher secondary students of government program conducted by the higher education department in Kasaragod. So one student came to me, teacher came to me and we have a student, she is studying right now the Japanese language. So I was very curious about that. Then I asked her from where you came to know about Japanese language. I have the app Duolingo, just I started that, then I am able to manage the Japanese, then they are looking back the Korean series, so they are very much connected. At the same time, we are living in our own world. So however the language, if they are managed, they can survive more. Then the technology should be a part of that one. Then internship is another option I will be suggesting. Especially it's a part of curriculum right now. Earlier, I know the last 5 or 6 years we are incorporating internship as a mandatory component of the PG program, as we are an autonomous college. Earlier I was working in Mambad College, but right now, our all UG program is part of the internship. It's already default setting. 2 credit internship is there at the same time. That's an ornamental part. As a teacher, we have to direct all the students to the industry which they are looking for. I do remember one of the students, she was studying mass communication in Mambad College. Then she told me that she is a final year student. She is very active. She belongs to Palakkad district also, Shadiya. She is doing mass communication. Then a couple of weeks back, she came to me and told me that, sir, I was attending an internship program. I was thinking about the last 2.5 years. I was looking for a career, and I was dreamt of that, doing a master's in that program. But after doing an internship for 1 month, I realized that that is not my real cup of tea. She releasing the last 2.5 years, she was working on that. But once she entered to an internship, once she experienced the real life situation or the real work experience, she could identify that is not my real cup of tea. That's why the excellent student, we have to direct them 2 or 3 internships that will be helping them to explore them, or they will be able to identify what sort of the skill they should be equipped. You can see the students will be very much serious after the internship program. If you direct the students for vacation for an internship program, after the internship program, they will be identify what sort of the skill I have to equip myself for fitting me to that industry. So the students will be, I don't remember, we were implementing that internship program for the last semester student. But the feedback was from the students that they are saying that we could identify many of the things we have to learn more about. At the same time, they have completed their master's program. Then we introduced the master's program for the first year degree students. We will be doubtful whether they can manage. At the same time, they can manage. They will be able to manage that. So the second year students, the second semester, third semester onwards, they will be more serious about, or they will be more directed. They will have their own career map to move forward. In that way, I will be suggesting whatever the possible way to connect the students with the industries they are looking for. That will be helping them anyway. And add-on courses also. We then we have our own mechanism. Every institution then may have their own identify the gifted students or the students they need some sort of additional support. We have our own mechanism will be to identify that students. So anyhow we have to identify the students what sort of the requirements they are looking for. Then based on some sort of the diagnostics test, our psychometric test, we can identify the students. Based on that, we have to classify the students. If they are in need of some sort of additional skills, we can provide them. In that way, we can provide some add-on courses. In initial stage, we may require some sort of the bridging courses, finishing schools, or likewise some additional skills we have to provide them. Then experiential learning, that's why industry learning, we can use the, especially for the study tours also in that purpose. Most of the time we can, most of the time the students will be arranging all the things. We will be just entering to the train, we will be going Kulu Manali and coming back. At the same time, as a teacher, the students will always be students. The kids will remain always as kids. As a teacher, we have to make some intervention. If you are moving to Delhi, at least we have to visit some pioneer institute of the subject. For example, if you are going to Delhi, you belong to commerce department, for example. So just think about which are the most 10 institutions of the commerce department. Definitely Delhi, you can see Sriram College will be the top one college in commerce, I think. So you have to visit the Sriram College. So, or you are going to the physics department, you are visiting the Hyderabad. If you are not visiting Hyderabad physics department, that will be a great loss for us. Likewise, for the trips, academic visits should be in that way. We have to connect the libraries, industries, like multinational companies. A lot of avenues are there. Likewise, we can provide the experiential learning, then outdoor training, then hosting event also. Especially they are differently able for different capacities and work. Especially if you are giving some assignment, very beautifully they can manage all the things. So if you are hosting, I could see when I was coming to this seminar also, the teachers was not in the picture. All the students they are receiving, they are managing all that is skills we have to provide. They will be able to manage all the things. Just we have to give the direction, orientation, and basic training. I know normally I will be sending every year the students to different countries. Right now, my 20 students they are attending in winter school at the University of Sharjah. This is the 4th day of their attending. I do very deliberately preparing the students for that winter school. They will be most of the time without having any faculty member, they are attending that program. They are attending that program first time in out of country. At the same time, they are able to manage. I am getting a very positive response from the University of Sharjah because they are able to manage. If they are orienting, if we are giving sufficient training, they will be able to manage. Likewise, these are the ways that my own personal experience I will be suggesting we can provide whatever the possible foreign languages, technology enhancement, or AI should be component. For example, a student studying BBA, he must be aware about what are the AI tools which I can use for a management student. Likewise, in all the subjects, the student must be aware about what sort of the skills, what sort of the AI tools which they can make use of their life. Like if you are trying to provide some sort of internship, add-on course and experience internship, learning that will be beneficial for everyone. So, as concluding, if we does not prepare the student for the world 2030, the parents won't send their children because the parents will be definitely going through your website. What are the profile of the faculty? What sort of the collaboration having that department? What sort of the additional program the institution is providing? Definitely they will be looking for. So the parents will not send the students to the institution, and employers won't hire the graduate, and the system leaves you behind. So as we are all faculty members, teacher, I am also this belongs to this fraternity, so we have to equip ourselves. We to an extent we are we are deserving for that. Whatever the skills are requiring for that, we must equip ourselves in that way. So it's a matter of the survival. So I will be winding up one of the quoting from Nitya Chaitanya. He was saying, നിങ്ങളുടെ മുന്നിലിരിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടി നിങ്ങളുടേതല്ല എന്ന് തോന്നുന്ന അന്ന് ഈ പണി നിർത്തണം എന്ന് നിത്യചൈതന്യം പറഞ്ഞു ഓർക്കുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഈ പണി ഒരിക്കലും നിർത്താൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഈ പണി നമ്മൾ തുറന്നുകൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കും. We will equip ourselves and we will remain, or we will equip the students also for the future days to come. And I conclude my words by this. Thank you everyone.
Okay.